Sí.
It is perfect.
Celano. ¿Qué pasa?
This is for you, brother.
Gracias.
Buen día.
Salud.
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 How are you, man?
Ah, bien, gracias a Dios.
And I met the builder maybe a month ago. And he sold me a blueprint for a house that I'm going to be building in the next 1 to 2 years, hopefully. So today I'm going to meet the architect that designed that house, and we're going to get to look at it and talk about specifics, maybe make some changes or just kind of collaborate with ideas. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
That's cool.
And please contribute. Pleasure, Alex.
40 metros cuadrados.
40.
Sí. Es
40.
Es bastante, sí.
Es 8 por 5, maybe.
5 por 8, sí, 8 por 5 metros.
El segundo recámara es ¿cuánto diámetro?
25.
25.
Y 25 también.
25. I'm going to take some notes,
Sí.
okay? So I can go home and conceptualize 25, and then the other one's 40.
That's a studio.
Sí, es estudio rental. Yes.
Okay, bueno.
Yeah, exactly. Studio rental. Rental
25.
studios are 35, ¿no? Que está ahí abajo, arriba de los arcos.
¿Esto?
Ajá.
Creo que sí.
Habría que no sé, ponerle.
No, lo cambiamos a algo más concreto y así, porque esto va a ser muy complicado.
No, I think it's perfect. It's like you open those doors and you get some fresh air, but you don't necessarily need to be out there. So I have a question, Sergio. When it comes time to picking our material, right? We got the window guy with the beautiful chacum and the windows. We were talking about that last time we met. But how do we get these carpentry doors like spot on? We take this plan to your carpenter and he...
We can, but it's gonna have to trial and error, really. They have to make a sample.
They make a sample door and we see it and we
Yeah.
approve or disapprove, yeah?
Yeah, wood is tricky.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you find really nice old doors, like you
I
know,
have the lid.
vintage doors.
But for instance, those back windows on the balcony, they're
do everything locally.
You do everything. You find
Yeah.
a local carpenter and he
Yeah.
constructs stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. If you were to build a whole, complex of 200 apartments, yeah, then it makes sense to bring stuff from other countries. But here in Tulum, I would just go as authentic as you could. And a friend of mine told me once before I bought one apartment here in Aldeasima, why would you move to Tulum and live like in Mexico City? And he was like, yeah, you're right. So boom, go the other way around. You know, you want an experience. You want to be surrounded by plants, by jungle, by stones. I don't have stones. We don't have that many stones in Mexico, so just build with stones. More chukum, the more chukum, the better. You know, like why not? And in my opinion, leave the glass away. You know, leave the steel structure. Well, this has steel. My house has steel, but it's different. It's just like French window style. But yeah, no, just do it very.
And you have a vendor for that window in the back. That window's really big.
Yeah,
we have a guy.
Yeah, I work with him. He's working with me right now.
Super interesting was all the stone on the facade. It wraps around the whole house. It goes about halfway up. But that stone you dig right out of the dirt when you do your excavation.
It probably won't be enough. You have to buy a couple of trucks or more. But yes, that comes from on the ground. In fact, this is. I don't want to see this. This was from one of our building sites, and it's it's stone, shell.
Oh,
fossils.
seashells.
Yeah, seashells.
Oh, dude, that's pretty.
So this was actually not. This was from Paseo La Selva. It's full of these, right? You see these everywhere.
Seashells. Really.
Yeah, seashells.
Stone is really.
It was. Yeah, this was all.
Was this all water?
It was on water at some point. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you'll probably see these underneath your land.
Amazing.
Vamos a hacer un rezo pidiendo permiso a los guardianes de cada dirección.
Calling on spirits of the east, Quetzalcoatl, the place of the rising sun, the place of the light of consciousness, praying that our words be clear, that our words bring to light the power of connection with Great Spirit.
El temazcal es un baño de vapor con plantas, se calientan piedras volcánicas, a donde entramos a un iglú, que es el vientre de la madre tierra. Ahí vamos a renacer, vamos a conectar con los elementos, agua, fuego, viento y tierra. Vamos a conectar con nuestro ser interior, con nuestro corazón. Trabajamos con plantitas que nos comparten su medicina, nos comparten sus aromas. Es un trabajo muy bonito, es una experiencia muy bonita, porque te relaja, te desintoxica, te limpia tu cuerpo. Cantemos con alegría, que al cielo le está buscando. Cantemos con alegría, que al cielo le está buscando. Y a Quetzalcóatl las gracias le estamos dando. Y a Quetzalcóatl las gracias le estamos dando. Las gracias le estamos dando. Cantemos con alegría, que al cielo le está buscando. Cantemos con alegría, que al cielo le está buscando.
The other guy, so yeah, maybe in a year time.
How many years have you owned this land for?
Oh shit, like 3?
3 years?
I'm changing the banana tree.
I love what you did with that tree there.
Yeah, it's a big palm tree. It has to stay like that for a month. So the roots will grow and it will be, yeah, it's real cool,
See,
man.
Mindy,
Yeah.
This is real chikung. There's a lot of different types of chikung, but this is the really nice stuff.
I mean, all the chukuns are done by hand, but there's qualities, there's different qualities, and the workers are not everybody does the same work, you know? Like I learned the hard way to use the best workers. I don't want to be blinded with my own project, but I think it's better quality.
It's beautiful chikung. So you want to do the better chikung finishes, Mendy? It costs a little bit more, but
It costs a little bit more. Yeah.
it's saying differently, it looks different, it feels different, and it's more durable.
Yeah, it ages with character. Like
So-
it has a lot of character. It's all the stains, I like them. Some people prefer paint. I don't, especially here in Tulum. But yeah, we put a lot of plants. This is train sleepers.
I love that. We could do that at the house.
Yeah, we could do that.
Build the garden beds out. Is this what you were talking about?
For the parking lot.
Exactly, exactly. These are awesome. Railroad ties. Where'd you
Yeah,
find
this
them?
with gravel is.
I'll tell you, it's very cheap here in Tulum.
Now the chacum is like, where does that come from?
Chucum is a resin. It comes from the trees from the region here in Yucatan.
Huh?
Yeah, it comes from the branches of trees, so you don't have to tear the tree down, just the branches. Mix it with water. I'm not quite sure of the whole process, but yeah, it's a resin from the branches of the tree,
Huh.
and it's mixed with the concrete. But there's secrets that I don't particularly know, but I work with the guys that do know.
I see.
Yeah, that's the result.
I see.
They use sandpaper, and it's a very crafty, artisanal process. And then at the end, they wax everything. They're actually probably waxing right now the walls. All of the walls are full with wax. Yeah.
That's interesting. Actually, remember how I was asking you, like, how do they make it? How do they make these walls so smooth? Remember?
Yeah.
This is it.
They
Yeah, dude, I
doing
didn't
it back
know.
there. Come check
Let's go.
this out, yeah?
Yeah.
So, Mendy,
Yeah.
but I like to come here and see Macan. This is my first time.
Yeah,
I've seen it on
Macan is nice.
Instagram.
Yeah.
But it gives you an idea of the style that Sergio builds with and what you can expect at the new project if you do a project with Sergio. And back, he uses really good materials. I love that. And back here,
Oh, look.
they're smoothing the chikung.
Wow. Mira eso.
And that's how they add cut. Is that the chikung plant right there in the black liquid?
No, el chucum que se le pone adentro.
Mira.
Y forma el colorcito ese.
Sí.
Quemado, sí.
Queda lindo.
Sí.
Ah, ya veo porque se mezcla como oscuro y se hace así.
sí.
Ya, ya,
Con lo que
ya.
ya va pegándole ya.
Sí.
Sí. Ah, ya.
¿Tienen tiempo haciendo esto, eh?
Sí.
Sí.
Earlier this morning with Sergio in the office. All right, so this is the Holistica neighborhood. It's the exact same street that we met on 2 years ago when we were looking at a hall. And since then, there's been a ton of development and a ton of construction, and I've spent a lot of time here. So I've been able to really explore like all the streets and the streets off of, this is Calle 10, and that's the Holistica Hotel. Down there we have a hall. And then there's maybe 4 or 5 streets, 1, 2, 3, 4, that run off of Calle 10. It's a very well-known and becoming very prestigious neighborhood of Tulum, such as we predicted 2 years ago. So since then, all of these little lots with meters, you see the meters? That's how you can tell that's a building lot. All of these lots have sold or are selling. So ironically, the lot right across from this house right here, which is my favorite and Sergio's, was for sale. It's right there. Right here's some brand new construction. A good friend of mine is building it. Hello. And then this is the lot. So all the renderings that we were looking at this morning and designing will be right here.
I see.
Directly across.
Oh, this is a nice plot of land.
Talking about, there's still that lot's for sale. I have this lot. But then the one next to it's for sale.
Oh, I see.
There's very few of them, but there's 2 or 3 really important lots that there's no real urban planning here in Tulum. So anyone can buy that lot and build anything they want. They could build an apartment complex or a store or a smaller house. And what myself and Sergio are talking about is buying that piece of land and building a mansion. So this street can be filled with big, beautiful, really high-end houses. And what's that going to do? That's going to force appreciation or drive the value of our houses up. And at the same time, if we buy the land, build the house, and then sell it, it's going to put money in my pocket to start to build the mansion that we were looking at this morning.
This one's nice too, the one that you're behind.
This is done by Colab, a really famous
Very
architect here in
nice though.
Tulum. The architect that we met with this morning, Alex, used to work for Colab. That's where he started.
Oh, really?
So it's interesting kind of that all of these architects kind of stem from the same place, or they're all in the same network. It's really small. There's another famous architect down the street. This is a dead end, so there's only, what you see is what you get. But I love it because you have these mansions, right? So, or like what I'm gonna build, what we could build, mixed with these old style villas.
Nice.
And once you get past those gates, these houses are really nice too. So what we want to do is we want to kind of control and build a really special street here. Put a security booth at the end of the street, maybe pave the street with bricks. And the Calle 6 Privada will continue to be one of the most prestigious, well-known, beautiful, safe, harmonious streets in Holistica.
I see.
That's the idea, and that's the meeting we were having this morning. Yeah. Construction talk.
Okay.
All right. So when we first arrived here, Mendy, like 2 years ago, we were specifically looking to get discounts on condominiums by buying pre-sale. So you reserve a condo and you pay a portion of that condo prior to being completed, and you get a discount. And this is great. This strategy works very well, but in the last year or 2 years, the prices of the condos have gone up a lot, like 20 to 50%. So now the same condo that you could buy 2 years ago for $100,000 costs $250,000. So for me personally, this strategy is no longer feasible because the developers are taking all of the profit margin in equity and just leaving the owners of the condos with the Airbnb revenue or the rental revenue. In the last like 6 months or whatever, I started thinking, is there like a better way to do it? And I started to study the cost to build. So the way the cost to build is done in Mexico is per square meter. And to buy a really nice condo here in Holistica, you're looking at about $2,000 per square meter. And that'll get you, and these condos are about Anywhere from 100 to 300 square meters.
Oh wow.
But the thing is, you can build a condo for about $750 to $1,000 per square meter. So that's like half the price, a little, maybe even 60-70% of the price discounted if you build it yourself. I started networking with brokers and looking for pieces of land, and I had my strategy dialed in that I love holistica, and I found this beautiful lot here on this street. And now the idea is to build a big house, 300 square meters, 350 square meters at a very low cost, $700 to $1,000 per square meter. And now I can have that equity spread and have the Airbnb cash flow. Of course, easier said than done. We can sit here and talk about it, but when it comes to anything, it's about action, moving forward, taking steps. And eventually, if you push hard enough in the direction you want to go, things fall in line, such as me meeting the man that built the house that brought me to this street. And now today we had a meeting about a blueprint that he was ready to sell to me. So, yeah, we're just ripping it here in Mexico, learning about construction, and hopefully getting better and better and better, and building something incredible is what I want to do. So. Jaime does it the best.
What song are you gonna sing?
Long are we waiting?
Oh, that's it?
It's the most beautiful. It's the
Y
most
nosotros del
That's in
canto. Y
English.
nosotros.
especially when Jaime starts belting out in English.
Ajá.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yo agarro tu huevo.
And so the path of the Temescal, the path of medicine work, it's not just to heal individually, but it's how to heal the globe collectively. So I think it's important to really contextualize these practices in that way.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Compártenos algo tú, tu experiencia que viviste
Sure.
en el Temazcal y en las ceremonias de Hikuri.
Okay. For me, I like the Temescal because we work with intentions, and it's really easy to get caught up in our everyday busy lives, our problems, things that are happening right in front of our face, and forget about the bigger picture of what we want to achieve in this life or what we want to bring to the world. So in the Temescal, we all have a moment to share our intentions, maybe 4 or 5 of them each. And if you can create a consistent practice with this Temescal and repeat those intentions over and over and over again, it serves as a amazing reminder to what you actually want out of this world and what you're actually here to do. And on top of that, while you're in there, you're singing these beautiful cantos and you're sweating, and there's vapor filled with fruits and plants, sacred plants that have been used to heal the body since the early days of Mexican culture. And it's really an amazing, amazing practice, and it's brought me very far, and it's something that I don't think I could live my life without at this point. So, Ometeo.
Ajo.
Ajo.
Prometeo. Y de tu experiencia de Hikuri, ¿qué nos platicas?
Hickory. No, I'll skip that one.
Okay.
It's too complicated.
Es un poco complicado. Sí.
2 or 3 new resorts coming to this neighborhood. It's my favorite neighborhood. Over there is our condo, a hall from way back when. It looks completely different now, it's changing. And we actually named one of the houses today. It's gonna be named Oasis Tulum, because we're creating like an oasis in the backyard. Since that meeting that we shot a few days ago, I've started to work with the architect. Things move very fast here, and we're already creating this idea, or this vision for Oasis Tulum. And over the next year or 2 years, hopefully we bring it to life.
I like this right here. This is nice.
You like this too?
Yeah, this is nice.
This
What
suite
is
right
that?
here?
Is that a garage or?
No, that's a honeymoon suite hotel, but as you can see, this street is still much of a construction zone. And every day they're doing the projects here, and it's kind of like, it's like living in a construction zone. And I've been dealing with that for the last year, but it's worth it, because if you don't buy pre-sale in a neighborhood like this, the prices are going to go up real high once everything's finished. If you buy pre-sale, you get in early, and you get to be a part of all of this for less dollar cost. Have an architect on the staff. So every single project has an architect that's there every single day to pass, to approve or deny like questions. And because they have the architects on the job sites, they don't need to have the city come inspect. So that's why these things get built so much faster here. In the US, you have the construction crew, and then the architect or the engineer is like a different entity. And when you have questions, you have to make appointments to call them to the job site, and then the city has to come approve. Here it's done completely differently. I don't think that they even have inspections. And you could see, we were talking last night about the stairway, like a lot of the codes that we have in the US aren't codes here in Mexico. You can kind of build whatever you can imagine. And because of that, you get these really imaginative little neighborhoods or projects.
They're super cool, dude.
Yeah, really cool. And I love the way that they use nature.
Me too.
The building construction.
Me too.
I mean, so these stones are still here, probably.
And they reuse them.
They reuse them.
Yeah.
They might crush them up and use that for their chakum, or they might build a stone wall to circle the whole property, but they use the materials that they dig out of the ground to build these structures.
Yeah.
In the US, we do footings. So the thing that the house sits on, it's called a footing. It's a cement under the ground. In the US, we do it completely from like poured concrete. And I couldn't believe my eyes when I came here. But even a new development like this will use these rocks under the ground with cement.
No way.
Yeah, and they do it really well, and they do it with steel, and it lasts forever. But it's a different style of building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the jungle. So the ancient Mayans passed down the ancestral knowledge of how they could work with their hands to build these magnificent structures using cement, rocks, wood. They used brush to build palapas, which are like modern day roofs. It's really fascinating because this stuff is still used every day here in Tulum, and they use it quite well. And now they're mixing it with like a modern architecture, and they're using modern supplies and tools and nuts and screws. And the things that they're creating with it is absolutely amazing. It's also very important to know that Tulum Seaport, or Tulum Ruins, were an ancient seaport where the Mayans would come to practice magic and give gratitude back to nature and to all things that provided them with prosperity. Right now we're on Calle 4, which is one of the only finished and one of the nicest streets in Holistica, Tulum. And this street is actually what drew me into the neighborhood because, as you can see, it's very aesthetically appealing. And what I learned is what makes a street aesthetically appealing like this is two things, and they're opposites, so it's interesting: cohesion and variance. So it needs to be cohesive, and as you can see on this street, everything's done in this white stone wall, which pulls everything together, as well as they all have the exact same door, but it's varied because the doors are different colors. So this street is really aesthetically appealing because as you drive down it, everything's cohesive. All of the houses, and these are mansions, by the way, are white chacum with flat square roofs. But they're all shaped differently. You can see the roof line is different rectangles at different heights, as well as the landscaping. So if you look right here, we have these green and purple bushes by a white stone backdrop. But then you look across the street and you see a different colored door with a different lining of landscaping. You have the palmas over there, the red flowers here. So you don't feel, it's not chaotic when you drive down the street. It's very, like I almost want to say relaxing because everything looks the same, but as you look around, everything's also different. So that not everything's parallel and in a straight line. So they staggered the exact same tree, and when this tree blossoms in the spring, it has these beautiful orange flowers that come out of it. And just driving down this street is like quite an experience. And this is what welcomes you into Holistica. And in my opinion, this is one of the reasons why Holistica is so great. There's more streets like this coming. Calle 6 is one of them. And we're hoping to do something similar yet different over there.
Yeah.
Big houses, stone facades, really like regal looking houses. We're gonna add a security booth at the end of it. And it's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be really beautiful.
Nice. This is a pretty street.
I love this street, bro.
It's cute.
What song is that? What song is that?
Come on, Jaime.
Come on, man.
Jaime does it the best.
What song are you guys talking about?
Long are we waiting?
Oh, that's it?
It's the most beautiful.
Y nosotros del
It's in
canto. Y
English.
nosotros-
Especially when Jaime starts belting out in English.
Ajá.
Interesting.
Yo agarro tu huevo.
This song I learned in the medicine community that I was a part of in Oakland, California. It was originally shared with me by my teacher, or by a former teacher that I had. Her name was Jyoti. So I want to name that before offering this song. We are seeds that we plant in the earth, beginning our lives. From the moment of birth, what we say, what we think, what we feel becomes the grain that will turn in the mill.
Oh, Mateo.
Mateo.
Thank you guys.
Vamos a hacer un canto de mujeres, ¿no?
Okay.
Porque solo hemos hecho canto así como masculinos. Sabe.
Suave.
Sí. Oh, Mateo.
Mateo.
Ya suena el tambor, llegan las danzantes, sembrando las plantas por todas partes.
هنا يرحل جسدي تفضل روحي هنا بيرحل جسدي تفضل روحي هنا يرقد جسدي جوهري حلي حرا بيرحل جسدي تفضل روحي هنا يرقد جسدي جوهري حلي حرا بتفقد صوتي ضحكتي وغناي بتفقد صوتي ضحكتي
It's so efficient.
It's cool.
Yeah,
It's cool. I love the tree.
me too.
That's what Tulum does so well. They mix natural beauty with building, with modern technology, with ancient technology. And you have a city like Tulum. Yes.
Yeah.